I would like to begin the meeting by stating the mission of the Toastmasters Club. We provide the supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in a greater self-confidence and personal growth. In every Toastmasters Club, there are the certain ground rules to follow. Rule number 1, if you are not a speaker, please put yourself on mute. Rule number 2, when you are moving around, please switch off the videos to avoid the disturbance. Rule number 3, I request the speakers to refrain from making any reference to sex, religion, and politics in their speeches. Rule number 4, please attend every meeting in a formal attire. And finally, rule number 5 is, if you are a guest, please prefix your name with the word guest. For example, if Santosh is the guest, then it will be guest-Santosh. I wish you all the wonderful meetings. Now, I would like to welcome our presiding officer. He works for the Nissan Motors, heading South Asia Business Unit, and he has been associated with the Toastmasters over 2 decades, and proud Medley since 2019. And also the former vice president education in Medley Toastmasters Club. Let us put our hands together in welcoming the club president, Toastmaster Raghunath Nair.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohan. Very warm good afternoon to all fellow Medlians, Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. You know, in the small talk that we were exchanging, and Vienna sir was mentioning about that TMI has an answer to everything. And I happened to go through the recent January edition of the Toastmasters International magazines. And one of the key things which strike me in that is a statement from Mr. Mohammed Al-Shukri, DTM Mohammed Al-Shukri. He is the newest accredited speaker. And what he said was, which really struck me, is if you love to speak, speak. And speak because you know your message will benefit others. A very interesting thing that is contemporary when you talk about the Toastmasters and what I have experienced in the Toastmasters for quite long. Let me repeat that again. It's a very interesting speech. Like, if you love to speak, speak. Speak because you know your message will benefit others. And that's something which really reflects the Toastmasters, and we love to hear and we love to speak, which will benefit others as a Toastmasters thing. And what is this accredited speaker program is? Like, it's something which has an answer. So what do we do after DTM or along with the DTM? It's something which is such program that you can do along or after DTM. It's designed like to give the professional speakers a competitive advantage by having their talents recognized by this Toastmaster International. And if you're a current Toastmaster member in good standing, and we have to have a minimum of 25 non-Toastmaster speaking engagements within the last 3 years, you can apply for that. So there are a lot of opportunities that as a Toastmasters gives. In the club, we have various sessions, like which is divided into the education session, table topic, and in a meeting. So overall, the 2 hours that we spend, we learn how to speak, we learn how to listen, and a lot of things gets imbibed into the development of our personality as such. So today we have a couple of guests who has come to attend our meeting. Nila, can you introduce yourself? How do you came to know about Toastmasters and about Medley?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I'm Aishwarya Lakshmi. Currently, I'm pursuing. Currently I'm working in AstraZeneca company. Actually, my project manager told me about this Medley International. Toastmaster International. He asked me to join this club. to improve public speaking skills and communication. That's why, and I contacted Thomas, and Thomas gave me the link, and I joined this club. Yeah, hope it will be a
Excellent.
good session, and looking forward to joining this club.
Sure, sure. So we'll welcome to Medley.
Thank you.
Wish you like a true good time from now to 5 o'clock, which we have. Arjun,
Thank you, Raghu.
Arjun, can you introduce yourself and see how you came to know about Medley?
Sorry, Mr. Raghu. Like, this is Dinakaran. I think it was my son's name in the.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought, okay. Fine. Okay. Then now we have another guest, Siddiq. Are you there, Siddiq? All right. Pushparaj.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You are a guest, correct? Like, can you introduce yourself and how you came to know about?
Yes, sir. Joshua Daniel referred me to join here.
Okay.
So I'm studying in Karan University, Coimbatore, second year, BTech second year.
Okay.
For the skills, so my uncle said to join here.
All right. Okay. Okay. Welcome, Pushparaj. So, Siddiq, you are on mute. Would you like to unmute and introduce yourself? All right. Yeah. Go ahead, Siddiq. Shankar, guess Shankar, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening. Actually, good afternoon, I guess. Yeah. So, if you could remember, I was here last week also, and I came to know about your club through the Toastmasters website. So I was randomly searching for clubs and got to know your club. So that's how I connected with you all. And yeah, so I'm looking forward for an entertaining meeting.
Great. Welcome, Shankar. Arun, you are there as guest. Shakuntala, maybe you can introduce yourself to the others. Most of us will be knowing you because you have been visiting us for last 2 3 weeks.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm Sakuntala. I'm from Sri Lanka. Came to know your club through Facebook. I just enjoyed being here. I really enjoyed my time being at your meeting. Thank you for inviting me.
All right. So thank you so much for your introduction. So today, to have this session, we have TMOD who is currently working as a product offering manager in one of the key MNCs, and he's one of the life purpose. And I always like experience to the energy with which he interacts with us, and also when we take up assignments in the various milestones that we had. And his purpose of life, and he said, is like he would like to be the catalyst who help people to improve their happiness index. And today's theme is in line with that thought of him. Let's put together to welcome our TMOD for today, Toastmaster Ramesh Murugan. Over to you, Toastmaster Ramesh.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Thank you for a warm introduction. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Am I audible? I welcome you all to the Medley Toastmasters session. Today's session is going to be an exciting session. We have an array of speeches, table topics, general evaluation, surprise session. And today's theme is very special. That is very close to my heart. The theme is, as you think, so you become. In Sanskrit, there is a word called idbhavam tadbhavati. As you think, so you become. I encourage participants to use this theme of the day. This particular theme, it's I put it in practice every day rhythm, and I personally benefited a lot. One example I could share, that I did my diploma in chemical technology. Immediately after that, I did AMI in chemical engineering. I didn't have any college experience. All along, I had a hollow feeling that I was missing really a college life experience. And that too, whenever I crossed the Anna University AC Tech, opposite to Children's Park, which is, by the way, on the way from my home to office, whenever I look at the group of students outside, I used to know the thinking grows day by day that I was studying as a student, and that I put it in my visualization. One day I wanted to study there. So I enrolled in a non-gate entrance exam. The first time I couldn't clear, and I cleared the subsequent trial, and I enrolled in the Anna University AC Tech, and I did my master's degree in petroleum refining and petrochemical. That was a proud moment. So whatever we think and then we put it in strong in our mind, it happens. Our subconscious mind will help us to achieve that. So that's the theme. Actually, I'll be able to share more in the subsequent during the session. So in today's sessions, as I mentioned, we have 4 segments. One is prepared speeches, and number 2 is the table topics. Number 3 is the general evaluation, and today is going to be a special. So we have a surprise session at the end. And to proceed further, we do have a general evaluator as part of the general evaluation. To conduct that general evaluation, we do have a special person, a very young and energetic. She is part of the XCOM as a secretary. She wanted to explore many things in college, and she wanted to diversify her studies just beyond, not just she's a psychology student, but she wanted to explore beyond psychology content. She is also interested in English, public speaking, and journalism. She's trying to explore many things. As long as she's happy with that, she's trying her best in expanding the role. So please put your hands together and welcome General Evaluator for today, Amita.
Thank you so much, TM Modi. My internet is a bit fluctuating, so I hope my audio and video is fine. So to move on, the theme for today, I love the theme for today because for ambitious people, I think that's the best phrase that you can give what you think you become. So today as General Evaluator, my task is to help evaluate the prepared speeches, table topics, and the meetings in general. So to help me with this, I have 2 teams, the qualitative and quantitative team. I will introduce the qualitative speech evaluators later in today's meeting. For now, I would like to introduce our quantitative evaluation team, that is the TAG team. Firstly, TAG team contains of 3 role players, timer, counter, and grammarian. I will be calling out each one of them separately for the benefit of guests to read out their roles and responsibilities in today's meeting. So firstly, I would like to call upon our timer for today, Toastmaster Karthikeyan.
Hello, Toastmaster and guests. As I am a timer, I will time formal the speaker, evaluation table and the table talk speeches. I will also allot each speaker of the time they have left the using the green, yellow, and red. Prepared speech of 5 to 7 minutes, evaluation speech 2 to 3 minutes, TT session 1 to 2 minutes, project speaker 18 to 22 minutes. Please, please pin the timer to your screen. I will submit the report end of the meeting when I called upon GE. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthikeyan. As our counter today, we have our this term's treasurer, Toastmaster Dinesh Karthik. Over to you to read your roles and responsibilities.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Greetings, Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of our counter is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch or pause filter by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and, you know. I will also listen for filler words, including and I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase such as I, or this means, this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times each speaker used these expressions. Thank you, and over to you, GE Toastmaster Amita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. To play the role of grammarian, we have a really special person, our past Medley president, and the greatest leader we all look forward to. We have DTM Suganti Peryaswamy to as the grammarian for today. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Good afternoon, fellow Medleyans and guests. I'll be playing the role of your English teacher today, noticing all the good usages of the language, and will also take note of the incorrect usage of the English language. It is also my pleasure to introduce the word of the day. In Toastmasters, we always learn a new word every meeting. And today, in sync with the theme of the meeting, we also have the word of the meeting, which is manifest. Manifest comes in noun, verb, and adjective form to keep in sync with the theme of the day. We will use the verb form of the word manifest. It could be manifest, manifestated, manifesting, and manifest. The meaning is to show something clearly through signs or actions. Example, he manifested his approval with a hearty laugh. COVID first manifested as fever combined with breathlessness. I request all our audience to please applaud virtually when a speaker uses the word of the day, manifest. Over to our Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, DTM Suganti. Having taken the tag role myself many times, I understand how important the tag roles are in a Medley meeting. Although the roles compared to the other role players, it seems to be really underrated. It has a really critical role. So I'm really looking forward to hear each and one of your detailed reports by the end of the meeting. Same goes with me. This is my first general evaluator role. So I will give my report as general evaluator by the end of the meeting too. Over to you, TM Modi Ramesh.
Thank you, General Evaluator Amita, for introducing your wonderful team. So let's get into the main segment. As I mentioned, we have 4 segments. We are going to start the first segment, that is going to be the prepared speech. The speaker 1 is to evaluate the first speaker. I would like to call the evaluator Sharanya to explain the objective of the speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. So I am going to evaluate Toastmaster Dinakaran. He is doing his project in level 2, project 2, understanding your communication style. The purpose of this project is for the members to learn about different communication styles and identify his primary style. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share the impact of his style on others. Timer, please note, his time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Evaluator Sharanya. So speaker 1, Dinakaran is working as a software engineer for more than 20 years in TCS. He likes watching movies, traveling with family, and very much interested in photography. He's going to give a topic on, his topic is speak up. So may I request Dinakaran, speak up, Dinakaran. Over to you.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Hope you're able to hear me.
Yes, Dinakaran, we can.
First of all, warm and happy New Year to all of you. To set the context, I'm not going to go in detail of different communication styles and then talk about all the different types and then the pros and cons. I'm going to talk about what I feel about communication style and then my views about the communication style. Okay. So when we actually, do we know that what we do when we actually come to this earth, when we actually come to this earth, any idea that what is our first action? We speak up, we communicate, we cry, and then once we are into this world, we cry and then communicate, and then we manifest to this world that we have arrived to this world. So the first step we do when the birth is that we start communicating. From there on, we try to go through all these types of communication, in the modes of visuals, in the modes of voices, the modes of the expressions. Right? We learn a lot of things. We try to get up, we try to walk, we try to run, we try to speak. Between this first year to the 5th year, we do all these things. we do all this active listening. We see what people are doing, how people are speaking, and then we also like see all the expressions from our parents, that when we see that when we do something wrong, that you should not do this, and then you should learn this. You should this is how you have to walk. This is how you have to run. So we do all this learning through active listening. So I see that active listening is the primary and then the foundation for the way of communication. Then after that, we are put into school with the assumption that we will continue that active listening, and then we will learn well, and then we will grow up well. But unfortunately, we slowly start losing ourselves in the way of like active listening. Like we reduce the way that we listen, and then we try to overthink and try to overdo a lot of things. So active listening plays an important role in the way of that we communicate. Next step is that I want to talk about emotional intelligence. I'm going to give a few examples of some communication that happened recently with me. So one of my colleague, I'm little new to some of the new areas, and then my colleague is helping me to do a few things. Okay, I've done something wrong. Then he is coming and then telling me that, oh, hey, didn't you listen properly what I have told you? Why the hell that you are doing this? I have told you clearly what you are supposed to do. Right? So this is the way that he is communicating to me. Okay, I'm actively listening to him, and then I'm trying to understand what I have done wrong. Then I accept the mistake and say that, yes, I have made a mistake. I'm sorry about it. But at the same time, also telling him that I didn't like the way that he has communicated. This is not the right way to communicate. So I am trying to have some emotional intelligence and apply some emotional intelligence in the way that I communicate. Another example is that, like one day, like I was trying to go to bed, and then we were all like, we switched off the light, and then we were all started sleeping. But and then suddenly I see that my son was actually using the mobile. The light switched off, and then he was not sleeping. And then I was telling him that, no, please go to bed, please sleep. But he was not able to listen. He was saying that, no, give me some time. Okay. But at the, if I just try to apply some emotional intelligence, then I have told him that you take your time, take like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, then you should go to bed. Okay. If I don't do that, like if I'm like the few years back, I have not learned to apply emotional intelligence, I would have snatched my son's phone. Maybe I would have thrown away, saying that, no, go to bed immediately. So next step I see in evolving the communication style is that emotional intelligence, applying the right emotional intelligence. I feel that it plays a critical role. The next one you talk about is that put yourself into others' shoes. I don't have a very good habit of reading a lot of books, but I still remember what I have read through this in the 7 Habits of Effective People, right? I remember the story. Like one day, like people are there in the restaurant, in the cafe, early morning. They are all very happy, and then they want to have a good breakfast. There are a few kids coming into the restaurant, and then they start playing around. They push the chairs and tables. They make noises. They're very happy. They're in their own world. But it's kind of irritating the people inside the restaurant. They're thinking that why this father is not taking control of the kid. Why is he not advising his kids to behave properly? Okay, so someone is going to the parent and then the father and then telling him that why don't you take control of your kid? But he tells that we are just coming out from the children's the child's mother's death. And we're just coming from the graveyard, and then we are just reaching here in this restaurant, so we are spending some time. So suddenly your view changes. You had a different perspective about the kids few minutes back, and then now what you hear and then what you understand about these children, your view totally changes. So you put yourselves into the shoes of their parent, the father, and then the child, and you think in their views. So putting yourself into others' shoes and trying to understand what they go through and then try to communicate is, I feel that another critical pillar for communication. The last one I would like to talk about is adapting to the situation. We'll have to adapt to ourselves to the current situation. Like you might be thinking in a different way, but whatever that happens on the ground at that point of time would be different. The best example that I can relate to is that adapting to the situation is the way that we conduct our Toastmasters meeting. So earlier we all go to Gandhinagar club and then other clubs, and then we will have in-person meetings. Now we have so much adapted to these online meetings. We are able to do it well. So you will have to adapt to your situation and then communicate properly, adapt yourself properly. And then that plays a very critical role in your way of communication. So all those 4 critical pillars is something that I think about, very critical for us to adapt to the way of communication and become a good communicator. I would reiterate on these 4 things: active listening, emotional intelligence, put yourselves into other shoes, and adapt to the situation. I'll leave it to you. Let us all speak up, but speak up and with this, using these 4 ground pillars that I thought about, I spoke about. Thank you so much. Over to TM Moody.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Dinagaran. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Kalyan. To evaluate his speech, I'd like to call Toastmaster Saravanan to read out the objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Kalyan is attempting his speech on Innovative Planning Pathways Level 2 Project 3, Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. The purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. And the purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. Timer, please note, time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Saravanan. Toastmaster Kalyan is my role model. A Medleyan since 2015 and a past president of Medley Toastmasters Club. He programs his subconscious mind very nicely and designed his own life. Most of the social titles currently he holds, he wrote it, drafted a plan and achieved it. It is something like a Ajit movie. Nana Sedukkinathu, something like that. I really admire him a lot. Speaker 2, Kalyan, is going to give a speech from knave to protege to mentor. Knave to protege to mentor, Kalyan, Toastmaster Kalyan.
Thank you, TM Moody. Good evening, my dear friends, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. I joined Toastmasters as a naive person. No, as a very naive person. Then I went on to places, saw people, understood. Here I am standing in front of you today as a speaker, as whatever individual I am. The whole credit goes to all the mentors whom I crossed in life. Before getting on to that journey, let me just give you certain definitions. We all know a teacher. A teacher is a person, a teacher, professor, lecturer. These people are normally work in an institution, they work in a college, they teach a specific subject. This is what the word definition for a teacher. Then there is a coach. Coach means certain people who will train you for a specific skill set. For an example, I have a fitness coach. Athletes will have coaches for their skill set to improve. Today, people started having life coaches. Teacher, coach. Then comes mentor. Mentoring, I got introduced to mentoring mainly in Toastmasters. Toastmasters gives you a very beautiful definition of mentor. They say a mentor is an experienced person who advises and helps somebody with less experience over a period of time. This is what exactly happens to me with Toastmasters. I'm sorry, I'm just spinning the timer. Sorry, thank you. This is what exactly happened to me at Toastmasters. I told you, I just joined Toastmasters as a very naive person. Me, with the help of my mentors, is what here I am today in front of you as a speaker, as a leader, whatever roles I have crossed in this fraternity. The whole credit goes to the mentors whom I crossed. I thought I'd just to visit certain roles which I did so that it will be much more easier for me to explain to you what is what. Before that, what I learned from my mentors is another thing I just wanted to tell here. Mentors to me, they gave their personal experiences. Mentors gave very positive support to me. My mentors supported me unconditionally. The mentors told me what is commitment. Mentors told me, they worked with me with full commitment. In fact, most of my mentors make me saw the unknown in Toastmasters, in life. To me, always, Toastmasters helps me to take care of my day-to-day life. Let me visit the roles which I played in a Toastmaster. When I joined Medley Toastmasters, DTM Alex Jacob was my mentor. As a speaker, he guided me very properly. With his personal experiences, he supported me, told me what to do, how to handle speeches, how to work on my script and all the other things. That Alex worked with me with his personal experiences, made me saw the unknown. Then I just worked on and then went on to become an XCOM. The moment I became an XCOM, Sunil Jose, so many mentors that worked on with me to make myself a better XCOM. My dear friends, I just want to insist one particular thing here. See, we play roles as a speaker, as a role players. We give project speeches, we give prepared speeches, we give role players. We also sign up as an XCOM. Of course, in these areas, we have specific mentors. But the moment we go out of the club, we get more number of mentors. Toastmasters expects you to take more roles other than your club roles. So it automatically, you as an individual, improve as a Toastmaster, as a human being. To me, that is what happened. When I just went out of the club, so many mentors crossed me. They just told me what to do. I learned a lot from them. Certain people would have just mailed me a single mail. For an example, I'll take one particular issue happened with one particular mentor when I was handling a speechcraft. For that first speechcraft of mine, I just did not know, not knowing, I crossed a protocol. And then the speechcraft coordinator sent a mail. At that particular time, I did not know what to do with that particular mail. Again, I go call my division director, my other fellow president and everything. Then club growth director, Suganti Periyasamy, simply gave her unconditional support. She don't even know who I was. She sends a mail, closes that particular loop, and then it went on to a different stage, because from that, the support which I got from Suganti on that particular day gave me the courage and strength to sign up so many other roles in my journey. In the same way, I just joined and then signed up myself as a club mentor to Synergy Orators. That Sarathi was my other mentor. Sarathi exactly taught me what is what. He told me how to run a club protocols, anything and everything. In the same way, when I became a president of Medley Toastmasters, Arvind was my mentor personally. He told me what commitment means. I understand what was commitment. Friends, I will tell you a classic example. All these mentors teaches you all these parameters. Today, for an example, today my mentor is Sampath Chaurarajan. He makes me see what is unknown in a very different format. For an example, when I was a trainer, when I wanted to take up training, then Division Director Priya gave me an opportunity for a trainer that as a first-time role player. That learning I went on and then took, when I throughout my AD term and DD term, I just brought in all first-time role players. When I was an AD, my Division Director then Gayatri told me how to work on. She handholded me on so many other things, on clubs. Every mentor teaches you what, with their personal experience, with their positive support and an unconditional support, they teach you commitment. To me personally, this is not a protege-mentor relationship. It's an ongoing process. To me at least, I started as a naive. For an individual here as a Toastmaster, you people are protege and then a mentor. Again, you just take this loop again. The learning continues. Protege, mentor, protege. You being a mentor also, you will be, after your protege, you will get into a mentor. Again, you will be having proteges with you. But what happens is, this fraternity thrives. It is only because it has got one particular mode, which is called as mentors. What do you say, Toastmaster?
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalyan, for sharing your all memorable experience with your mentors. So before we go to the third speaker, there is a small change in the agenda. We are going to start the table topics now. So now I request the table topics master. She works in the Standard Chartered Bank. She has traveled a lot across India as well as to abroad in Sri Lanka. She went to Sri Lanka as well. She has a big wish list where and all she wanted to travel. Maybe she's waiting for the COVID to close. So so I would like to request now, please join me in welcoming the table topics master, Lakshmi Ramesh.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you so much for the warm introduction, Ramesh. Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmaster and guest. One of the most exciting portion of the Toastmaster meeting is the table topic session. The main objective is to challenge members to develop their improper communication skills, to effectively think on their feet by answering unrehearsed questions. Your response must be at least 1 minute and can be no more than 2 minutes. You will see a green signal after 1 minute, yellow signal at 1 minute 30 seconds, and a red signal at 2 minutes. I also encourage to use the word of the day, manifest. So let's start with Aishwarya. Yeah. So let me share my screen. Hi Aishwarya, are you ready?
Yeah, you mean Aishwarya Lakshmi? I'm a guest.
Yeah. So we are going to start with you, Aishwarya, if you don't mind.
Okay, no
Yeah.
problem.
It's a simple question. Whatever you think you can answer for this. Are you more like your mom or your dad? In what way?
I'm more like my mom because the appearance and all the activities mostly much more similar to her. I mean, in her cooking style and way of dressing, everything, and many people will say, "Mom, like I mean, child like mom." So they'll say like that. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Aishwarya. Let's move on to Shakuntala. Shakuntala, are you ready?
Yes. Yes.
Are you there? Yeah.
Yes.
Your question is, what is the number one quality that makes someone a good leader? What is the number one quality that makes someone a good leader?
Thank you, Toastmaster today. I think punctuality. I think that for whatever we do to succeed in life or whatever task we took, I think punctuality is the most important thing. That is the first step, I think, that will right, if we take it correct way, that will definitely take us to the goal. Because if you don't in the time management, or if you don't know how to use your time, and if you are not so much care about the time, if you think, okay, we can do it tomorrow or the other day, if you postpone those things, it won't help you reach your goal. So the most importantly, everyone should learn how to manage time. I think punctuality should be the first thing that we all have to learn. I hope that is what I do, but actually we have to be very specific also. So that way, I think definitely we can achieve more things. And other thing, that is the most precious things also. So in other words, we also have to handle it indifferently and very efficiently, because nothing match time, the most precious thing in the world. Over to you, to table topic master. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Hello.
So
Hello.
hello. I think punctuality is the most important thing to succeed in life, because that is the most precious thing in the world. Whatever we do, even in a day-to-day life, or whatever the goal or the achieve anything, the punctuality is the most. We have to handle it nicely. That is the only thing, I think, take us the great to help us reach our goals and things. So I think that is the most important thing we all have to have, because all the other things can be learned skill. This thing is the most important thing. Thank you, tabletop master.
Yeah, thank you, Shakuntala. Let's move on to DTM VNS, sir. Hello. DTM VNS, sir. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So shall we go to your question, please?
Yeah.
Your question is, what do you do to relieve your stress? What do you do to relieve your stress?
What is that?
What do you do to relieve your stress? What do you do to relieve your stress?
Relieve the sin.
Your stress, sir.
Pardon me, to relieve your stress.
Stress.
Correct.
Yeah.
First of all, we should be free of our difficulties. And humor is the best way to get relieved from your stress. Try to see everything in a humorous way, and also when you communicate, also try to communicate with humor. Normally also it is always said in Toastmasters that you have to have a smile on your face in all the roles. Unfortunately, today also I am seeing all the people are very serious and something has happened to them, one ship or something, to their house was under fire or something like that. They are, see, at the
Can
same
you
time.
share your screen, please? I have problem again. Yeah.
I don't know, what is it? This is some other film is going on inside. Somebody else is talking. So essentially humor. Even when I was appreciated by Rotary for eye donation speech, and they told my wife that the Vienna speech was very good. He inspired all the people to donate their eyes, and my wife was telling I can even donate my ears, because the same speech I heard 20 times in my house. And if you would have spoken about the donation of ear also, it will be interesting. The central point is we look everything from the angle of humor and be humorous always. That will keep you without any stress. Stress is nothing but worrying about, some people say that, I don't have nothing to worry. So why you are again seeing like this? He said, I am now worrying about why I don't have anything to worry. So he doesn't have a problem to worry. That makes him worried. And humor is the best medicine. And all the speakers should speak with humor. It's a must. If you cannot imbibe humor in your speech, then it is a futile effort. Over to you. I don't know. There is some problem, technical problem.
No, we heard you, Veena, sir. I think Lakshmi is on mute still as a table topic master. I think she will get the other topic. So.
Ranga, do you have Lakshmi Ramesh? You are on mute.
Hello, sir. Sorry. Yeah. Next we have Surya. Surya? Hello, Surya?
Oh, we don't have Surya. I think just go ahead with the next one.
Yeah.
Okay. Next is Shankar.
Hi, Lakshmi.
Hi, Shankar. Shankar, is your next question is, what is your happiest memory?
Wow. There are a couple of memories which I had The first one, which happened in 2014, where when I was in the HSBC, my team manager asked me to go into Vietnam. So at the time, I never knew that where is the Vietnam and where is the location of the Vietnam in the world map itself. That time I knew only about the Vietnam where the people will eat the meats and mammals and other few things. And the only Vietnam which I heard in Vietnam Vidu Sundaram or Vietnam Vidu Colony. And also I have seen some of the movies with the name of Rambo. When initially they told about my international trip, initially they told international trip, I was so excited. And after that, when they told about the Vietnam, I was clueless and I was totally devastated about the trip. And later, after I visited the 1 month in Vietnam, the place was marvelous. Even though the country was in the tiny place in world map, the amount of love and affection with especially with the stranger and also the Indian people, as well as the color of the complexion of my skin, the people were so attractive and started making the affection with me. Even I think, thank God, my wife was not there. Many girls were taken the photos with me, and I saved in my personal computer. So if you ask me, in India, it's very difficult to get girl get me to take the photograph. But there, it was an amazing trip. Even after close to 2014 and 7 years gone, I think Lakshmi Ramesh, you remembered my trip in Vietnam. That was one of the cherished moments in my life. Over to TT Master.
Thank you, Shankar. So next we will move on to Rohit. Rohit, are you there?
Hello, Lakshmi.
Hi, Rohit.
I'm here. Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, Rohit, we can hear you.
Lakshmi?
Go ahead, Lakshmi.
Hello. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, Lakshmi,
question
I'm
is,
there.
what makes you proud, Rohit? Yeah. Are you heard the question? Rohit, you want me to repeat?
Yes,
What?
I got the question. Lakshmi. Thank you.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Very good afternoon to fellow Toastmasters and guests and the TT Master. When you ask me what makes me proud, I can say that any smallest of the smallest achievements in life makes me happy. Even the smallest success which I come across in a day or in a week makes me happy. And whatever makes me happy makes me proud as well, especially if I have people around me whom I like, whom I connect with, and even if their success story, when they share their success stories with me and what I have achieved, even the smallest of things, tiniest of things that makes others happy makes me happy as well. So people, be it our colleagues, even our family members, cousins, my nephews and nieces, whenever I connect with them and when they share what they have achieved, if they have learned something new, or if they have gone through obstacle or hit one of their met any of their milestones in life, when they share anything, that makes me proud as well. It's not just about my self achievements or accomplishments on day-to-day basis, but even people around me, when they share their accomplishments, it makes me proud as well. So if you ask me what makes me proud, it's not just about our professional accomplishments or our personal accomplishments, but even as tiny as you learn when you pick up something, learn something new. When you get out of your comfort zone and learn, take that additional step or make that effort to learn something. You may not, at the first instance, you may not you may not scale to a great height, but at least if you have that, if you have taken the first step, to learn something, and if you make that your life goal to get better in whatever you have taken up, that makes me proud. That makes me proud. And there's one of those instances where I did have an thing about riding bikes. So after a real long time, one of my colleagues told me, why don't we go on a bike trip to Pondicherry? Though I had stopped riding after for a really very long time, I thought, why not take the plunge and accompany him on a bike ride. So I went to Pondicherry when we left one morning and got back the next day afternoon. Once I got back, I felt so happy that I turned this around, went to Pondicherry and got back home safe. So, so since everything ended well, so I was really proud of it, because I am not much of a biker. So I thought, let me take this step to go on a bike ride, and definitely it was one of those proudest moments. This was not something recently, but it was something about 4 years back. And recently I did have a instance where one of my nephews told me that how he had learned to design charts and advertisement boards. So he had picked up, he's just all of age of 12 years old, and he had learned to design he had learned how to design advertisements, and he is already being tutored by one of those brand professionals in a small branding advertisement company. This also has made me, even things like this does make me proud. So all that I can say is, even the smallest of smallest things can manifest into a situation where you can really be proud of. Over to you, Lakshmi.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rohit. Next, we have Arjun. Guest Arjun, are you there? Arjun? Hello?
You can move on to the next, Lakshmi.
Yeah. Next, we have Sharanya.
Yes, Lakshmi.
Yeah. Hi, Sharanya. Your question is, what is your number one goal for the next 6 months? What is your number one goal for the next 6 months?
What is my number one goal for the next 6 months is really to do like a lot of certifications, because during this pandemic period, right, so most of them like are learning a lot of things instead of simply ideally sitting at home. Other than office work, like most of the software engineers, or they are also doing like additional stuffs. So I thought, like related to my profession, so I can do few certifications so that it would be give a strong growth to my career. And so I just to grow myself professionally and mold myself professionally. Only it was not only like doing my work, coming back home, taking some rest. Instead of that, so I thought of like molding my career. So that was my goal for the next 6 months. Over to you, Lakshmi.
Yeah, thank you, Sharanya. Next, we will move on to Sundaresan sir. Hello.
Yeah. Yes, Madam Toastmaster.
Yes, sir. So your question is, when you think of home, what specifically do you think of? When you think of home, what specifically do you think of?
Yeah. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you, ma'am, for giving a positive thought of home. Home, certainly, it's a pleasant feeling that matters a lot for our humans, like a nest matters for birds. The bird builds by its each straw and make it that home strong. Same way, we humans build it with the knowledge we have gathered from our teachers, first parents, teachers, then the society. Then we also build our nest and make it a nice home. To be specific, My family, I can say, I have a beautiful nest. My wife and son, they have given me so comfortable feeling. I feel so secure because working, just telling my background, I was in Gulf for several years. The job security is not much in Gulf like India. You have to be up to the mark every day, irrespective of your age, with not much resources provided. So you have to give the best in the working environment. Having worked in stress for several years, coming back home every day evening, the feeling of secureness in the family, which given by my wife and son, has made me hope, has made me so happy that weekends is the best one for me at home. I used to take them outside. I had car, and we had a very big friend circle, my own Toastmasters friend circle and my personal friend circle, working friend circle, and working colleagues, and the people from Tamil who speaks Tamil, and a debate club. All these things have made my home happy. It's a pleasant feeling. Over to Table Topic Master.
Thank you, sir. Next, we will move on to Sampath Saurirajan, sir. Sampath, sir. Hello. Sampath, sir, are you there?
Lakshmi, you can move on to the next person.
Okay. Let's move on to Atishai. Atishai is there? Atishai?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Lakshmi.
Yeah. Hi, Atishai. So
Hi,
your
Lakshmi.
question is, what is your happiest childhood memory? What makes it so special? What is your happiest childhood memory? What makes it so special?
Right. Thank you for the question, Lakshmi. My fondest memory from my childhood is when I was, I think, 8 or 9 years old, and we went to a village for about a week. So now this village, it wasn't like some of my distant relatives. They lived in this place that we had gone to, and it was a wedding occasion. And I have like I don't think I had ever gone to I've never lived in a village setting so far, and I think that was the only occasion where I got to live in that place for such a long time. So the first time I went there, the first night was horrible because when I was trying to sleep, there were insects all around, and I remembered waking up again and again, and then looking at insects, and then crying, and then telling my mother, telling my father, oh, there are so many insects, mummy kida, mummy this, mummy that. And then the next morning, I was so fed up, I wanted to go back home. But then that day, some of my cousins, they were elder than me, so some of my cousins, we went with them, and we started to like they said that, okay, let me take you around the village. And that is when I first sat on a tractor. So they had a tractor and they had farmlands in that place. So I first sat on a tractor, and then we went through we went through those farmlands, and that they had a dog. They had lots of different pets. They had a tortoise, they had a dog, they had cats, they had rabbits, and we spent the day playing with them. Those guys, like my cousins, they were so they had me play with all of those animals, and I had a lot of fun doing that throughout the day. And that is when, by the second day, third day, like I did a lot of different fun things, and my experience about the village changed. So my perception about that whole village setting, and that villages are backward and that villages are not good, all of that changed within that 1 7-day trip. And then the wedding happened, we came back, and I still remember a lot of different things from that trip. So that is the fondest memory I have from my childhood. I think at that time I was 7 or 8 years old. So a lot of things have faded, but a few moments, a few things that I really, really enjoyed, like this one about playing with different animals. These are things that I definitely remember very well. And yeah, this is the fondest memory I have from my childhood. Thank you. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Atishai. Next, we'll move on to Pranav. Pranav, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you.
Pranav, your question is, who or what do you think of when you think of love? Who or what do you think of when you think of love?
I'm not going to say thank you to this topic. I've come after a really long time, and I've given with such an uncomfortable question. Sorry for that. Many people do come, but yeah, in specific, it would be my mom. speaking very seriously. I think she means a lot to me, right from my childhood till now and forever. Even with my dad, I don't share, such a close bond. It would be wrong to say, but she's someone with whom I share everything: my personal life, professional life, be it anything. I can talk about any girl with her. Okay, so that's the kind of a wonderful bond that we share. She's been very supportive through all my ups and downs, and be it exams or be it anything from childhood. I've got beaten by her, but still, she is the go-to person for me always in life. So, it would be my mom always, my first love. Thank you, and over to you, Lakshmi.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Pranav. Next, we will move on to Venkateshan, sir. Venkateshan, sir, are you there?
Yes, Lakshmi.
Yes. So your question is, what makes you angry and why? What makes you angry and why?
Okay, thank you for the nice table topic. Before marriage, I used to get angry for each and every incident. After marriage, slowly I controlled myself. I controlled myself. I do not get angry. Once you get angry, physically you will be disturbed. One of my cousin is a well-known oncologist. He told me that you are not supposed to get angry for each and every incident, even the small incident. If nothing happens to you in your favor, you are saying that. Suppose that is not a good way to maintain your physical body and mental also. And he advised me, you are not supposed to get angry for all these things, and you are not supposed to be excited for each and everything. I myself is a proactive person, either in the office or in the house. I don't like nothing is some materials, some articles is misplaced on the table or in the kitchen, in the dining hall, or even in the office also. On my table, I don't want to put others' files or others like pen, everything. I used to keep it in the drawer only. I want to be perfect in each and everything. Perfect is not possible, but you can make it. You can make it as a progress. To make perfect, nothing is possible. Make perfect is very difficult to do in our daily life. Slowly I am doing it. Nowadays, if I look at anything, I won't get excited or I won't get angry also. I'll see that even if somebody met accident, I don't want to help them immediately. I'll wait. If somebody will come there, I help them to move the bike, cycle, or car, any other thing. Because of my cousin's advice, due to my maturity also, I stopped. I don't get angry for anything, angry for anything, and I won't be excited for happiest moment, small and happiest moment also. Thank you for the nice table topic, Lakshmi.
Thank you, sir. So next we will move on to Arun, guest Arun. Hi, Arun. Arun.
Guest Arun is on mute. Move on to the next person, Lakshmi.
So I think a minute. So that's it from my end. So
Maybe
that is what there in the list.
Arun, if it's not able to make, guest Shankar wanted to talk. Maybe you can give a topic to him. Yeah, he pinged. Yeah.
Okay. Shankar.
Yeah.
Hi, Shankar.
I finally have to struggle to get the chance here. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
okay. Yeah. Question is, what is the most valuable life lesson you learned from your parents? What is the most valuable life lesson you learned from your parents?
Yeah. So we all learn different things from our parents. Maybe anything. Like we learn a lot of different things from our parents. Our parents are our role models. So for me, like all others, my father is my hero. So everything comes after my father, and then my first love is my mother. So there are lots of things that I have learned from my parents combinedly. I learned how to take care of others, how to spread love, or how to have that unconditional love to others from my mother. My mother is the one, like all mothers, who's the one who spreads love. not only towards her own children, but also towards the others. So I learned how to spread unconditional love towards your fellow people through my mother. And through my father, I learned discipline. I learned how to be committed to the work. So to be honest, my father was not a kind of father in the GVM movies, but of Silver Organs movies. So my father is that kind of strict, very strict, kind of very strict person. But even though he is strict, he is always correct. He is always honest. He is the one who taught me that going with the rules or obeying your elders or staying committed towards your work is very important. So I sometimes kind of get annoyed by his over strictness or by his scoldings, and then I later realized that it's all because of my wellness. So he is saying those things just to make me better. Like in Selora and Soundjimu, I also had that kind of realization. Like on some point of a time, even though my father is scolding me always, it's all because of the care he has towards me. He wants me to become a good person, a greater person at least. So that's why he's always kind of having that strict rules. I never mind my father scolding me because no other than my father can scold me. So I love to get scolding from him, and I love to get better and better. So the most important thing that I learned from my mother is the unconditional love, and my father is the discipline. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shankar. Yeah. Thanks to everyone who participated. Now I will return control to our TMOD Ramesh. Thank you.
Thank you,
Ramesh.
Toastmaster Lakshmi. A big round of applause. All the topics were very simple and able to know people are jumping and then talking for more than a minute. Now I request the timer, Karthikeyan, to just read out the names of the qualified table topic speaker. Just the names.
Yeah, sure. Sugandhala, first one, second one TM Sangar, third one Sharanya, fourth one Sundar, Ajit Jain, TM Pranav, Toastmaster Venkatesh, Shankar guest.
Thank
Three
you.
guys not, yeah.
Could you please repeat, because your voice is breaking? If you don't mind, could you please repeat the names?
Yeah, I will repeat one again. Sugandhala, Shankar, Sharanya, Sundar, Ajit Jain, Pranav, Venkatesh, Shankar.
Thank you. Please make a note when you are casting the vote at the end of the session. So now that we have done the table topic session, we are now going back to the prepared speech. As I mentioned, there is a slight change in the agenda. Now we are going to call the speaker 3 for today. So before I call the speaker 3, I would request to the evaluator, Toastmaster Jagannathan, to give the speech objective.
Yes, Ramesh. Speaker John Jayakumar is delivering his speech from the Pathway Presentation Mastery, Level 5, Project 1. Prepare to speak professionally. The purpose of this project is for John to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. Now, the member will deliver an engaging keynote style speech. It could be humorous, informational, or any other style that he wants to choose. The speech should not be a report on the content of Prepare to Speak Professionally project. Now, since John joined late, just to brief him, the yellow card will go at 18 minutes. The green card will go at 18 minutes, the yellow card at 20, and red card at 22. The agenda, it was given differently so that John can expect better. Over to you. All the best, John. Over to you, Ramesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jagannathan. John V. Jayakumar is the founder and CEO of Superposition Technologies Private Limited. He has over 2.5 decades of experience in the information technology industry. He is the current VP membership of Professional Speakers Association of India, Chennai chapter. In 2015, he visited the Rajarajeshwaran temple in Tanjavur. He was struck by its brilliance and dreamt of penning down a novel centered around the temple. In 2019, he made the dream a reality by penning and publishing Rise of the Cholas, Apocalypse, which became a bestseller novel. So may I request John V. Jayakumar to give a speech. Solopreneur John V. Jayakumar.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Ramesh. Let's do an audio check. Can you give me a thumbs up if all of you are able to hear me okay? Awesome. First of all, thanks Ramesh and everyone here for accommodating my schedule. I was in a lunch meeting that I could not miss, and I did not want to miss my Medley meeting either. So glad that I was able to make it. Solopreneur. So the president of Medley, Toastmaster Raghu, invited me to give a keynote at Medley. So I thought what topic would be apt to give a keynote at Medley. And I was told that there are a lot of youngsters who have recently joined Medley. Then I was thinking something that helps them, in their career would be an apt choice. And then I came up with talking about solopreneurship. So the reason I chose this topic is about 38 lakh students enroll for engineering courses every year. This is a Ministry of Human Resources official survey done in 2019. And there is also a statistic that has been published that 80% of engineers in India are jobless. That's a very startling number, right? So for us to sink that in. Now, why is it that people are not able to make a career for themselves? So that is what the keynote is all about. Let me start with a question to gauge the audience here. There is a reaction button in your Zoom window. So if you are an entrepreneur or if you have a business of your own, can you give me a thumbs up? Those of you who are entrepreneurs, excellent. Those of you who are working in a job or who have retired from a job, can you give me a thumbs up? Okay. How many of you are students here pursuing any kind of a degree? Excellent. So till 2017, I was in the corporate world in the information technology industry. By the time I had already put 22 years of experience, I was working with a US-based telecom company. Very good salary, handful, I would say. And I was managing a team of about 220 members divided across Chennai and Hyderabad. And we were managing projects for 5 locations across the United States for this telecom conglomerate. But since 2012, I had this feeling inside me that it is time for me to start off on my own. How many years will I be working for someone? I bit the bullet December 2017. I retired from this company. So 2018, I incorporated a private limited company, and we started working on projects related to artificial intelligence and digital transformation. Now, these projects are long-term projects that we took up, and then the finance that flows in is not as frequent as a monthly job. So I'm not getting a monthly salary. Now, I did not want to touch into my savings or whatever is the PF and gratuity that I got when I quit my company to take care of my family expenses. I wanted to have a income of my own outside of my private limited firm, so that I can focus, reinvest the money in growing that company, but at the same time see how I can take care of my expenses. So that is when I started looking at, okay, let us say I don't have a company and I don't have employees. I'm on my own, right? I'm a person who sets up and runs the business on my own without anybody. What are the avenues that are there in the market? So I started doing this research. And I also focused on areas where there is not a big amount of investment from my side. Okay, so it has to be least amount of investment, but I should be able to make money out of it. So there are a couple of things that I came across. I started, delving deep and then figuring out how things work. So I picked out 4 such avenues, which I'm going to be presenting in front of you today. So these 4 avenues would help you, those of you who are either looking for a career and you have not, got that break yet, or maybe you feel you're not able to meet your expenses and you want a side hustle going. Right? For you, this would be beneficial for you to take a look at. So please allow me to share my screen. I will walk you through a couple of these. All right. Can you give me a thumbs up if you're able to see my screen? Okay, excellent. So the first avenue I would like to talk about is known as print on demand. Okay, we call it as POD. Anybody here knows what POD is? Okay, so let me explain what POD is. Okay, Now there are companies. So I've taken an example of a company called Teespring, and I'm not associated with this company, so this is not a marketing effort, but I just want to give the information out here. So there are companies which have the products with them. So for example, in this company Teespring, they have various products like t-shirts. You can see these t-shirts here, and they have these back covers of mobile phones, and they have these bottoms, and they also have other products like, cups. For example, I don't know if you can see this, right? These kind of mugs. The products are available with this companies and it is ready to ship. What you can do, you can go to places like Teespring, you can create an account, you can create a store, an e-commerce store, bring your design, okay, and then print your designs on these products. So you don't invest any money in getting the products up because the products are ready to go, but the products will be blank, there will be no print on it. You can design anything. So for example, in these t-shirts, right, so you can just get some text written, some quotes, right, some famous quotes, some motivational sentences can be written, and you can print it on these t-shirts. So all you're doing here is identifying what should be the text, design that, bring it, and then print it on this t-shirt and create a store out of it. So you can have multiple designs. You can go with a theme. For example, you can target people between 60 to 80 years of age, right? So people who are retired, and you can have some motivational quotes for them or inspirational quotes that can target that audience. Or you can target the kids segment. So you can look at school going kids. What kind of t-shirts would they love to wear? Get some of those designs. Now, if you are not a designer, okay, what do you do? So there are platforms like Fiverr, Fiverr. Okay, there are platforms like Fiverr. This is like what do you say, freelance platform where individuals come and put their design services. So you can come to these platforms and then you can go get somebody to do the design for you. So you can put design, the word design here, and so design logo, design graphics, design t-shirt. So you can just go and then search on it, right? Graphic t-shirt design. Now look at this. This person charges 386 rupees for a design. So you can write a small paragraph telling, hey, this is the concept I have in mind. This is the target segment that I am looking at. Give me a design. And then you can pay the money. 386 rupees is not a big investment that you can do for you to get an e-commerce store. And getting an account in Teespring, you don't have to spend any money. It is free for you, right? You can go create a free account, come to these places, get somebody to do the design for you, take it, go and put it. But what you're bringing in here is your innovation, your design idea, your concept, your way of focusing on a particular niche, right? You're targeting on a particular customer segment. And then the same design can be printed on the bottoms, can be printed on t-shirts, they can be printed on the back cover of your mobile phones, they can be printed on mugs. Now, none of these products are yours. So you don't have any investment, you don't have any loss to make. Then you can start promoting the store to your friends. Or you can go to social media platforms like Facebook and start promoting these. When people look at the ad, they come and then buy. The percentage, whatever percentage that this company decides, that percentage will be yours. So with very little investment, see, if you're a designer, then actually the investment that you make is zero. For example, you can go to platforms like canva.com, right? Be familiar. This is again a free platform where you can go and design your own text and then take it as a PNG file, go take it to Teespring, put it on the t-shirt, and then you can start creating your own e-commerce store instantly and start marketing it. Okay, so this is one avenue. This avenue is called as print on demand. Okay, now the second avenue is known as drop shipping. Anybody here heard of the term drop shipping? All right, very few. Okay, let me explain what drop shipping is. Now, all of us know Amazon, right? Amazon is an e-commerce portal. They have built this portal to bridge together suppliers and customers. Now, what you can do, you can also build a platform like that, like Amazon, But Amazon is like very wide, right? They have all kinds of categories under them. So there are platforms like Shopify. Okay, Shopify is a platform which helps you to build a e-commerce store without any technical knowledge. You don't need to be a techie, but you can still build a e-commerce store. So if you look at these images that is shown here, they give you what is known as templates. These are ready-made store designs that you can take. But now you need to figure out where do you go and get these products from. There are suppliers who help you drop ship products. So let me explain what drop shipping is. These suppliers, they will give you white label products. So you can brand the product on your own and you can list it on your store. Let us say that there is a company that is giving you jute bags. Okay, so you're building an e-commerce store. You will take images from that company. You will put their products in your store, but you don't have the stock of it. Okay, and you can put whatever price you want, which is a markup on top of the price that these jute bag companies offer. And you can start marketing these products from your e-commerce store. When somebody purchases in your store, what you do, you collect the money from them. Let's say the supplier gives you the jute bag for 600 rupees. You can list that same jute bag as 800 rupees in your store. So when a customer comes and places an order, you take 800 from the customer, you take your 200, you transfer 600 rupees to the supplier, give the customer information to the supplier and tell, hey, this is the customer, ship this product to them. So you have zero inventory, you're investing zero money. You will be able to set up an e-commerce store without any investment, start shipping products to your customers and then making money from it. So you can come to this platform called Shopify. You can create a store in any particular niche that you want. It could be, let's say, pet products, right? So you can figure out suppliers who are willing to offer pet products to you as a white label. You can list those products, create an e-commerce store specialized in pet products and start marketing it. Now the investment for you is nil because you're not taking the stock, you're not purchasing it. Based on the orders, you're starting to process it. Now you don't ship the products, you don't provide customer service because all that is provided by the supplier from which you're taking the order. So the investment is little. Of course, you will have to pay, I think, $29 here to this Shopify platform every month. That's what, some 2,000, 2,100 rupees every month you'll have to spend for this company to provide you the service, the e-commerce service. But the advantage you get here is the shipping is integrated and you can send the message from this platform itself to that particular supplier and then track it. Everything will happen inside of this platform for you. So this is known as drop shipping, which is another good avenue for you to come and make a passive source of income. I know a lot of people who have built $1 million businesses on drop shipping. So what they do, they go into very specific niches. For example, bonsai plants. Okay, that's a niche that you don't find elsewhere. They have a good collection. So the work that you will do, identify who are the sellers of these bonsai plants, get the best ones that you don't get it, and the generic e-commerce platforms like Amazon, build a unique store and then start marketing it. So the setup of the store and the marketing is your job, but getting these plants ready and getting the plants shipped to the customers, the suppliers will take care. They make money, you make money, customers are also happy. So you can think about some innovative niches which is not available in Amazon, or you're doing the work of putting it in one place. And then you can start making a business out of it. Okay, this is the second option. The third option for you is to build a business around information products. Okay, so what is information products? It's to do digital coaching, right? So you record a course and then you put it on websites. For example, there is a platform called Teachable. Okay, so you can create and sell your courses on this platform called Teachable. So you have to figure out what is the topic on which you are going to be doing a course. It could be anything. See, I know people who are teaching numerology. Okay, I know people know people who are teaching how to learn Sanskrit if you know English. I know people who are teaching how do you prepare for an entrance examination, how do you increase your memory capacity, or how do you remember more things faster? It could be any topic that you are well versed in. You can record a video, package it as a course. Okay, again, you can go to the platform like Fiverr, and you can go here and you can say box design, right? So there'll be people who can do that for you. Box design. You see, there'll be people like this. So you create a video of a topic. You come here and this person charges you 386 rupees. They will do the entire design for you. You just tell the topic of your course and they will make it like a product and give it to you. And then you can go to this platform called Teachable, where you will be able to take an account and then host that video. And then within Teachable itself, you can collect the money. If you don't have a payment gateway that you have tied up with, but you want students to pay for you, so Teachable will take your bank account details, and they will accept the credit card, debit cards from the customer. The customers will enroll for your course. You will get the money into your bank account. So this is one of the popular ways today in which people are making money. Of course, all of you know about the Baiju story, right? So that's another version of recording courses and then getting students in, and they also have live classes. But even before Baiju's went to countries like Dubai, they had these iPads which had the recorded courses which they used to ship to Dubai, and they were making a lot of money from that sales even before they were doing live coaching. So you can also think about recording any of the skills that you have and then come and putting it in platforms like this. Okay. So the other one, the fourth one that you can do is affiliate marketing. Okay. So this person's name is Pat Flynn. He's one of the big names in affiliate marketing. Let me quickly explain what this is. There are a lot of companies which have good products, and there are customers who need these products. You are going to be the bridge by recommending these products. And when you recommend the products, people who buy, they pay directly to the company, but you make a commission from it. That's known as affiliate marketing. This is another good avenue for you to make money, right? So you can create a blog, write about different mobile devices, and then recommend mobile devices to be purchased. If somebody purchases from that, you get a part of that money as a commission. The advantage here is the company takes care of the support. All you're doing is recommending the right products to the right people. So just to recap, so we have talked about print on demand, we've talked about drop shipping, creating information products, and doing affiliate marketing. These are the top avenues in my experience where you can make tons of money. I have known people who made millions of dollars. Pat Flynn is a good example. He makes more than $1 million a month doing affiliate marketing. So don't think that a job is the only avenue for you. For those of you who are looking for a career, there are 101 ways legitimately for you to make money. So please don't think that the only avenue is to go and get a job and work under somebody. Take a look at these as well. Even for those of you who are working already, you can consider some of them to make a passive source of income. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster John. It's a very informative session. I could see the meticulous preparation, including your shirt matches with the background. It's great. Thank you so much. Now that we are done with the prepared speech and table topics, what else? Like next, we have to get into the evaluation, the most important part of Toastmasters, a unique selling point. Before I call the general evaluator for the general evaluation, regarding this theme, I was explaining about how this theme, the as you think so you become, so close to my heart. And I believe that everyone today, whoever is attending today is, you are today is what you had envisioned, whether it could be a personal or a professional, what you had envisioned yourself to be so far. So that's the power of mind and thought. So one of the key takeaways I would recommend is, which I practice is, I put it in practice as one of the affirmations to know. I strongly recommend everyone to have one of your affirmations to manifest, to improve your thoughts. That I have my manifestation of as one of the affirmation is, I can do anything I can set my mind to. I can do anything I can set my mind to. So with this note, I would like to now request a general evaluator to proceed with the general evaluation. Before I call, I just wanted to make a note. I request timer to make a note. Just tell the qualified speakers. We had 3 speakers today.
Yeah, everyone's qualified, Mr. Ramesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthikeyan. Now I request General Evaluator Amita to proceed with the general evaluation.
Thank you so much, Tia Mori. That was a wonderful prepared speech and table topic session. I like the topics very much, and the amount of information I gained through this prepared speech session is a lot. Special thanks to John J. Kumar. So to start with our evaluation section, before I start by calling out the evaluators, when I was messaging each of them yesterday as to how to introduce them, I also asked them a question. So during their school days, I asked them if they really envisioned themselves to be where they are right now. And I've got quite a few interesting answers. Not only the evaluators, even our tag players have answered the question. So to call upon our first evaluator is Toastmasters Sharanya. Sharanya, she is a very friendly, she's the go-to person for anyone in Medley. She's working as a mobile app developer in Fidelity, and what she thought she actually became, because she's been wanting to become a software engineer right from she was in 9th grade. She worked for it, and here she is now. So I'd now like to introduce Toastmaster Sharanya to please evaluate Toastmaster Dinakaran's speech. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amita. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. So I'm here to evaluate Toastmaster Dinakaran. So he spoke on the topic Speak Up in Project 2, Understanding Your Communication Style. So Dinakaran, you gave a very good speech. So it was related to the communication style as your project objectives. So you started off with with asking a question like, what is the first action when a person do when a baby do when it is born, right? You try to interact with the audience. And what I like most in the speech is like you explain the communication styles that you are into it very clearly. Like you mentioned 4 different communication styles, right? Active listening, emotional intelligence, put yourself in other shoes, adapting to your situation. This also met your project objectives, like what all communication styles that you follow and where you are now. You gave also like real-time examples of what all communication styles that you follow in your office as well as in your personal life. That was good to listen. And you also had a very good eye contact. You was seeing the camera and talking, and you referred few stuffs, but that was fine. And for gestures, like you moved your hands like whenever it is required. The flow was very good, like you did not have any pause in between, and the transition between the different level of communication also was nicely taken care of. So the area of improvement that I felt was like on the start, like you mentioned, like I don't want to tell all the types of communication styles. Instead, there are like several codes, attractive codes related to communication styles and all. So I felt like you should have used some codes or some positive note to start on. Then your vocal variety. So your vocal variety was plain throughout from the beginning, like till the end. So it would have, like you gave examples like when a son talks and you respond to it, and you should have like acted like your son, so that it would have been a little impressive to the audience to see it as also. And the conclusion, like you gave a conclusion telling like these are the 4 styles of communication styles I have. So instead you should have added some quotes or some impressive things in that. It would have added more value to your speech. To conclude, like overall your speech was very smooth from the beginning till the end and met the project objectives. And you should have worked on your vocal varieties. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sharanya. Now we move on to our second evaluator, Toastmaster Saravanan. Toastmaster Saravanan is a senior manager with Ford. When I asked him as to whether he saw himself in the place he is right now, he took the word place literally, and he told me that before the pandemic struck, he was wishing that he will actually get to work from his hometown, that is Coimbatore. And thanks to the work from home situation, so he answered to my question literally, which was great. So over to you, Saravanan, to evaluate our second speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amita. Introduction to Toastmasters mentoring. It's a very challenging project. You know why? Because it's a level 2 project in all the 11 pathways. So we get to listen to this project from almost all the members, almost all the 46 members. You will hear this project at least once. So so that's the biggest challenge. So you have to make the speech more interesting. That is the challenge by itself in this project. This is where Toastmaster Kalyan has brought a difference by bringing in his personal experiences. So he mentioned about how the mentor offers encouragement and guidance so that he can move from a naive person to a prodigy to a mentor. So all these three characteristics he brought in very nicely. And he also brought in examples from his mentors like Alex Jacob on how he has helped him improve his speech and scripts, as well as Sunil Jose on XComs, and Suganti and Dr. Sampath Saudirajan on how to improve himself. So they were able to listen to his thoughts, challenges, as well as concerns, and they were able to provide their mentorship to them. So it was clearly coming out of that. But in that speech, I can see three recommendations from my side. First one is the purpose of manual. If you see in the purpose, you have to share some aspect of your previous experience as a prodigy. So you have played various roles like club role, area role, as well as division role. So if you have provided some example in that, you have mentioned about Dr. Sampath have mentioned you about make you see the unknown. So if you have provided some example about what is that unknown, what is a personal story all about, how his mentoring has helped you to reach your long-term goal, that would be helpful. That's the first recommendation. Second one is on the lesson learned. As you have gone through various stages from being a naive person to a prodigy to a mentor, if you can let us know how you identify the needs of a prodigy and make positive and constructive feedback to that person, that would have been much better. So lessons learned. Third one is on the ending, conclusion. From a body to transition to the conclusion, it would have been little smooth. And where you have added some more value is on call to action. What is a call to action? What is the impact and importance of having a mentor? How a new member can select the mentor and what he can look for Toastmaster membership, because there are a lot of new members have joined. So that would have been helpful for them as well. So to summarize, I would say you have got good experiences and you have brought in like what you have learned from your Toastmasters and what the members have taught you as well. And if you can look at these three recommendations on the purpose in manual, value of mentoring, what the lesson learned from them, and what is a call to action for the new members, that would have been a brilliant speech. Overall, I would look forward for your further speeches, but I really enjoyed your speech. Over to the general evaluator.
Jagan. He is a professional. He is Medley's musician, so obviously he loves to play guitar, keyboard, and he watches cricket. So when he answered my question, it was a single word answer. He said, "No, I never thought that I will be in the place I am today, professionally and elsewhere." I'd now like to introduce Toastmaster Jagan to evaluate John Jayakumar's speech.
I have a specific complaint today. It is terribly injustice that I, as an evaluator, is given 3 minutes to evaluate a 22-minute speech. Last time when I evaluated, people said you are giving so many information in 3 minutes, and I cannot evaluate that. I cannot do justice to those 3 minutes today. So I will try to be in time. And taking a leaf from what Raghu said at the start in his presiding officer's speech, if you love to speak, speak because you know your speech will benefit others. And John has taken this in letter and spirit. Of course, he did not know this, but somewhere as a speaker, he knew whatever he was going to do today would impact people like us, like who are in Medley. Now, As we know, his project objective, presentation mastery, level 5, project 1, prepared to speak professionally, is to deliver a long speech. Now, what are the positives that I see? And it is specifically saying keynote speech. It says keynote style speech. And he also mentioned that at the start of his speech, when the XCOM approached him to deliver a keynote style speech, which made the audience also connect. So now, there are, of course, I have more points that I don't want to mention, but there are 5 positives that I see in his speech, among others. Now, one is, it is as if he came to my notes and then saw what I was going to say. Understanding the audience. Now, he picked up, targeted the audience. He knew that this is my audience. He knew that there are more young people in Medley, and I'm going to target my speech to them. And it's a wonderful way to start your speech, and specifically targeting your speech towards them. Second thing is the confidence with which he spoke. Now, confidence generally comes from your preparation. It comes from understanding the audience himself and trusting your own ability to speak. And in his preparation, there is spontaneity in it. There is no robotic preparation. There is spontaneity, and that gave him such confidence to deliver his speech itself, and understood, he of course understood the audience quite clearly. Well, the third positive that I see is the connection towards the audience. Now, what do I mean by connection? It's not about calling people, pulling people here and there. Now, this manual specifically says engaging, open and a welcoming demeanor, and the voice. And it's quite clear that he connected well with the audience. Now, I quickly complete the last 2 points. Now, one is the research. He mentioned 38,000 and 80%. If at all, the start of the speech, he mentioned some statistics, and the entire speech was research, his own research. The fifth is his subtle use of presentation. Very little effort. He just used the websites, but it had huge impact. Now, what are the areas of recommendations that I saw? Now, clearly, there was one place in his speech that he was vulnerable. When he said when he started off, he did not expect a monthly salary. He could have built up on that. The vulnerability, showing vulnerability on stage is courage. If you could have built up on that and shown personal experience, and I know I'm going beyond time, and I will, I'm okay with that. Now, the second thing that I see was the reaction. Now, when he received the reaction from the audience, was that useful in his speech? Now, it was not audience connect. It did not come to me as part of audience connect. To me, it could have used those 30 or 40 seconds much efficiently. Now, the third thing that I saw in his speech, he mentioned 4 things. In teachables, he mentioned a relatable experience, which was Byju's. In the other 3 things, he did not mention a relatable experience for us. He mentioned one face in the website, but I don't remember his name. Some name he mentioned, he did mention that he was earning much, but I don't remember the name of the person himself. So if you could mention in the 4 things, teachable, he did mention Byju's example, but in the other things, if you could mention an example which relatable to me as an audience, now I could take this informational speech into an inspirational speech. All the very best, John. You have done a wonderful job today. From 18 to 22 minutes, we did not expect this much of information, and it's a power-packed speech. All the very best. Over to the G.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jagan, for your elaborate evaluation as usual. So with that, we are done with our qualitative evaluation. Now moving on to our quantitative evaluation team, which is the tag team. I asked the same question to each of them. So when I asked Karthikeyan if he saw, like if he foresaw what he'll be today of you in the past or something, he said 50% of it was real and 50% was lost somewhere in the way. With an all the best to achieve the next 50%, I would like to call upon our timer for today, Toastmaster Karthikeyan, to read out your timer report.
Yeah, sure. Actually, I share my screen now. Are you able to see my screen now? Anyone confirm?
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
okay. Actually, today meeting 607 meeting is speaker Dinagaran speaking 6 minutes 42 seconds. Kalyan speaking 6 minutes 38 seconds. John Vijaykumar speaking 21 minutes 30 seconds. Today, tabletop is speaker totally 8 members only selected. Out of 12, 3 members not selected because of one guy is a new guy. Is Aishwarya, another is Subramanian. Is speaking more than second, and Rohit is speaking 4 minutes actually, extra 2 minutes. Mr. Sagodra speaking 1 minute 49 seconds. Shankar speaking 1 minute 54 seconds. Saranya speaking 1 minute 2 seconds. Sundar speaking 1 minute 53 seconds. Aksha Jain speaking 2 minutes. And Pranav speaking 1 minute 48 seconds. And Sanjay speaking 1 minute 57 seconds. Next evaluation speaking, 3 guys also selected. Actually, Saranya speaking 2 minutes 35 seconds. Saravan speaking 2 minutes 58 seconds. Jagannath speaking 4 minutes 10 seconds. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthikeyan. I'd now like to call our counter for today, Toastmaster Dinesh. Over to you.
Thank you, Gentle Evaluator. Very good afternoon once again to everyone. I'm sorry that I don't have a PPT to share because I don't know how the people time the speech at all. But still, coming together for the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ramesh Murugan used the R once, General Evaluator Amita used so once. In the prepared speech session, Toastmaster Dinagaran had 3 plus source and 3 plus like. He had all these filler words only in the first few minutes of his speech. So he could have he just worked the first few minutes and then he became very confident. Toastmaster Kalyan, clean speech. Toastmaster John Jayakumar, brilliant speech for 20 minutes. He just had one so and one like. And as far as I'm seeing him from his icebreaker, it is a tremendous improvement from the amount of filler words that he has reduced drastically. And coming to the evaluation session, Toastmaster Sharanya had 3 so's and many times she used the word like in particular. She perhaps likes the word like many much, so she can reduce it in particular. And Toastmaster Saravanan used so 2 times and like 1 time. Toastmaster Jagan, clean speech. And coming to the table topics session, guest Aishwarya Lakshmi had one like. Guest Shakuntala had a clean speech. DTM VNS sir had clean speech once again. Toastmaster Shankar used the word 1 time. Toastmaster Rohit used the word many times. So he could he may think upon it and many times, and he would consciously want to remove the word because even in his prepared speech I see him use it many times. Toastmaster Sharanya, even in the table topic speech, she may in particular want to remember the word like in the back of her mind. She may need to reduce it. Toastmaster Sundaresan sir, clean speech. Toastmaster Atishay, so once and like 2 times. Toastmaster Pranav, clean speech. And Toastmaster Venkatesan sir, he used and 3 times. Guest Shankar used so 9 times, like 5 times, 2 times, and 1 time, but 1 time. And for repetition, he used the word kind of 2 times, and ask me, he used the word 2 times. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. Now to welcome my final tag player, the grammarian, distinguished Toastmaster Suganti Peryaswamy. She said she never thought she will be in the place she is right now when she was in her school days. So it was all a big surprise, but a good surprise for her. I'd now like to welcome our English teacher, distinguished Toastmaster Suganti Peryaswamy, to read out your report.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I have noted all the good usages of the English language, and I would like to present it in the form of a word cloud. So you can take a quick glance at these are the beautiful usages of the English language in our meeting today. I will also share this word cloud as an image for our reference later. I thought I'll use this opportunity to also highlight some of the subtle mistakes that the most of us do in our Toastmasters meeting. The first one is, I will be evaluating Toastmaster Ashok. It should have been, I will be evaluating Toastmaster Ashok's speech. Then we also have this tendency to say, to begin the meeting, let me invite. It could have been, to commence the meeting, let me invite. And we also interchangeably use the words topic and title. Topic usually refers to the subject of the speech, whereas the title is the caption. Example, Maniratnam presented a movie on the topic communal harmony by the title Bombay. Next, we also have this tendency to say, let me explain the objective. We don't have the time to explain the objective in detail. So we could very well say, let me state the objectives. And another interchangeably word that we also tend to use is the and the. The is used in front of all words except the vowels. For example, when we refer to the I, it is not the I, it is the I. And in front of all other words, the pronunciation of the word the is the and not the. And we also sometimes have this tendency to interchangeably use the word wedding and marriage. Wedding is a one-time event or a function, whereas marriage is a lifelong process. So many times we say that during my marriage, on the day of my marriage day, it's actually on the day of my wedding, not the day of my marriage. So these are, I think, some of the commonly used mistakes that we tend to use in our various role plays in our Toastmasters meeting, which I have also used many times. I thought I'll use this opportunity to present those. Over to our Madam General Evaluator. And before I forget, I'm very sorry. I think I should have taken a clue from our Toastmaster of the day. I should have affirmed that many of our members will use the word of the day and should have manifested it quite intentionally, but I think I didn't do, because only the first speaker, Toastmaster Dinakaran, and a Toastmaster of the day used the word manifest during their speech. Over to the G.
Thank you, Suganti Pereswamy, ma'am. So that's with the overall quantitative and qualitative evaluation session for the prepared and table topic session. So coming to my general evaluator report, today's meeting started on dot at 2:55, keeping up to the Medley standard as usual. The guest introduction was done very well. The theme was introduced by our Toastmaster of the day. The word of the day, manifest, was understandable and comprehensible, and there were a few usages. There were less usages, but surely there were usages. Our TT Master also gave very easy and easy topics that could be spoken by anyone who received it. There were also many enthusiastic speakers, waiting to get her topics. And coming to the evaluators, all three of them gave good evaluations. And the job of the evaluators in Toastmasters is not just to criticize or give a positive, it is also to give constructive criticisms. And in that way, I think our evaluators did a great job today. And then coming to the tip or suggestions for today, all I have to say is it's not something we do deliberately, but technical issues are something which happens, which interrupts the flow of the entire meetings, and that's not something we can do. But technical issues played a major drawback today, even in my connectivity. And if you want a tip, my tip was inspired by V.N. Subramanian sir's table topic speech to add some humor. Humor goes a long way, and in a Medley meeting, if there is at least a bit of humor, it's highly appreciable, and all of us tend to enjoy the session more. So that's my overall general evaluator report for today. Over to the TMOD.
Thank you, General Evaluator Amita. Today's session, your evaluation doesn't look like you are doing the general evaluation for the first time. Good job. So with this, we are done with the main core business. Now that as I promised, there is one session left. And to conduct that session, our XCOM VP Education, Ranga, is going to conduct the session. You might have observed Ranga's normally his backdrop will be different. Every week he used to attend like Medley 600 milestone, keep climbing. He used to stand in front of behind the climb, the steps. Now that there is a clue for the surprise session, what is that he is going to do in front of a bookshelf? Yes, he is going to do a book review. Please put your hands together and welcome Toastmaster Ranga for the surprise session.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the introduction, TMOD. Am I audible? Thank you. So let me start off. Who likes reading books with pictures in it, like comics or any book? Good. So let me share the book that fascinated me from when I was young. This easily goes back about 3.5 decades ago. I went to my favorite bookstore and I was just browsing through books, and here it was, this book, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It is a story about seagulls. And what do seagulls do? Their main job is to just be near the waves and the seashore. Look out for carrion, dead fish, and crabs, and then just pluck them and eat them. They squawk. They make a lot of noise. But when I saw this book, I was fascinated. This book just had 114 pages, and every alternate page was a picture, was a photograph of what? Of just seagulls in various poses. They were flying, they were sitting, it was just fascinating. And I was wondering, what is it that he could be writing, this author, Richard Bach, could be writing in that book? So I read the first page. And as soon as I read the first page, I knew that I had to buy this book. It was that fascinating. What was it about? It is about the story of a seagull. And this seagull is in a flock. And all he hears is just noises and the other seagulls jostling for food. But his thoughts were elsewhere. He wanted to fly high, low, just dive in and then take a deep turn. He was trying to do various things. And of course, this was not accepted by the flock. The flock, they decided that he was doing something totally different from the rest of us. All of us are here just to jostle for food and squawk. So when Jonathan Livingston Seagull made his first dive from 1,000 feet, he almost sputtered and his wings gave way. He spiraled down, almost dead. He just carried himself on and said, I should fly again. And he started flying. And suddenly he was just thinking, it's so dark here. And he realized, my God, seagulls don't fly in the dark. He was surprised and he started flying again. Later on, he realized that he could do whatever he wanted. As he thought, so he became. But this was not accepted by the flock. They called him to the center. Jonathan was very happy. He thought that he was being recognized for his flying skills. But the eldest gull looked at him, pointed at him and said, you are banished. You cannot do this. Our job is just to go near the waves, look out for crabs and fishes and eat. We do not fly. So he was banished far away to the cliffs. He was forlorn. He went, but after a few minutes, after a few hours, he realized that he had nothing else to lose. So he started practicing again and again, and he was almost close to perfection when suddenly he realized that two shimmering birds, seagulls, of course, they came and told him, come, you have learned enough. We will take you to another place. So he goes with them, and there he learns, he sees that all of them are practicing flight. Loops, they're flying in loops, they're diving down and doing everything that he wanted to do. And he meets the chief gull there. The chief gull just tells him two things. He said, practice, practice, practice till you become perfect. Jonathan was very happy. And the second thing, he says, fill the world with kindness and love. So even though he was very unhappy, he always had it in him that he wanted to go back to his flock and then teach other gulls who wanted to learn the art of flying. during this period where he was learning and he was perfecting himself, he realized that his thought did not stop him. And he was able to apparate himself and manifest himself in a different place, even though he was somewhere else at that point in time. That was truly an awesome experience for him. And he felt as though he had reached the pinnacle of what he wanted to do. After a few days or a few years, as time passed, he realized that this was simply not enough for him alone to learn all these things. He wanted to give the benefit he wanted to pass on the benefit of what he had learned to his flock. So he flies back, and as he is flying back to the cliffs, he finds one more gull. His name is Fletcher. He was also banished for the same reason that Jonathan was. So he starts teaching Fletcher, and he's a willing student. He learns the art, and he's so excited, and he's so grateful that he has found him. But Jonathan and Fletcher come back to the flock, where they are completely shunned. Nobody even sees them. But slowly, he starts making these loops and the dives and everything else. Some of the seagulls, they see him and say, hey, this is something interesting. This is something that we haven't done at all. So he gathers a small flock. He's still not accepted by his flock, but he starts teaching whatever he has learned. So he has come a full circle. He's banished, he learns, he comes back, and he teaches. And he's not at all bothered by the fact that he was different. And he says that even if I have to do it again, I will do the same thing. So it is all in our minds, and we can go ahead and we can reach sublime levels if we want to. That's it for the day. Back to
Thank you, Toastmaster Ranga. Thank you for the surprise session and for the book review. With this, we are done with the session, and I would like to request Toastmaster Sharanya to initiate the voting list. Thank you. Just take some time, and I request everyone to please send the vote. Okay, very good. Hope you all enjoy this session. I thoroughly enjoyed a lot of key takeaways for me as Toastmasters, leading and learning by doing. So we all gained a lot from today's sessions. I thoroughly enjoyed, and thank you so much for the support from all the role players and speakers. I'm just handing over back to the presiding officer now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ramesh. I think that was a fabulous session where we are almost ending up on time. I think let's give him a big round of applause for such a fabulous session. Thank you so much, Ramesh, with that energy that you brought in that whole meeting. And the key things like what Ranga had given with the surprise session. Overall, I really enjoyed the time from 2:55 till now at 4:58. And with that, I actually would want to understand how our guest has felt. Especially Aishwarya, when you called for first time for the TT speaker, how did you find it, and then the overall overall experience as such?
The session was very wonderful, and all the speakers and the role players, evaluators, they have done a very good job, and definitely I'll join this club maybe after attending 3 to 4 sessions. And suddenly while they called me to give an impromptu speech, I was was literally like blank in my mind. I don't know what to speak. Let's maybe sure I'll try to improve that. And yeah, that's it. The session was very interactive, and yeah, it's a fabulous session as well.
Thank you so much, Aishwarya. Shakuntala, how do you find
Brilliant. I believe my action speaks louder than my words, because I have been here for the past 4 meetings. Really, I love that there is a variation in the meetings and the speaking thing. It really makes the meeting very enjoyable, and you are very friendly. Actually, everyone, I feel like in a family. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you so much. So let me share my screen to announce who is going to be our who will be steering the session for next time. Please let me know when you're able to see the screen. Excellent. So our TMOD for 16 January is going to be Toastmaster Sundareshan, and our GE is going to be Sharwanan. Okay. Just a quick thing. What do you find? What can you say about this particular picture?
Social you become.
Okay, so no, so the next 16th meeting is going to be another interesting session where DTM Sugandhi, with all her experience, will help us with the moments of truth. Okay, so that's something which we will have it in the next week. She will be assisted by our senior members. So now I should not forget what the important thing that had happened for today. Let me announce the winners for today. The best table topic goes to Atishay Jain. The best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Sharwanan. The best role player goes to Ramesh Burgan with all that allergy as TMOD. The best tag player goes to our grammarial Toastmaster Sugandhi, DTM Sugandhi. And the best speaker goes to John Jaikumar, for his keynote address for in knowing what we can do without a job kind of thing. So overall, I really enjoyed today's 607th meeting. And with this imaginary gavel in my hand, let me close the meeting number 607 and open the best open session, chat session for in Chennai. Over to you.